the fakey talk stuff again?
Yeah, we're doing the fakey talk stuff.
The pre stuff that you're not supposed to be listening to, folks.
We're gonna do that intro, and so hopefully it'll work. If not, I'm gonna have to. So
sounds good.
All right.
All right. So you're hitting the intro, and you're gonna give me some kind of sign that it's done, and I can start talking.
Yeah, you'll see the sign, I'm sure.
I saw the sign.
Okay, that's not the intro. Oh my God.
All right, let's roll.
I'm like embarrassed for my children. Okay. So, and
that's the sign, I think. And now for your listening pleasure, straight out of Jefferson's Harry Potter School of Wizardry and Milwaukee, the least talked about podcast in Wisconsin, Hypocritical, your outlet to let us praise or vent on anything that in the end really doesn't matter. How you doing, Al3xaMKE?
Well, I'm doing all right. Hopefully that worked out. We will see.
Or here.
I don't know. It's either gonna be on there or it won't be on there. So for the people who were just listening to that little weirdness, we're gonna start adding music and transition. So hopefully a little musical thing worked. I think I didn't do it quite right, but we'll see. But other than that, so what have you been up to? Food, movies, and fests. Oh my!
Well, fest. Let's start. I started out with that one, the Harry Potter Festival, just finishing up today. Today's the 22nd. It was the 20th, 21st, 22nd in Jefferson County. Moved from their old place because of too many people. Kind of talked about that.
How many people did they get?
Well, there's still some preliminary numbers out there, but it could be anywhere from 25,000 to 50,000.
Holy crap, that's amazing.
So now here's the thing. Now, if you go to their page and read the comments, you'll probably never want to go to this festival in your life. Okay, there was a festival grounds you were supposed to go park at, and they were going to give you a shuttle downtown, and then the little stores you could go in, and if you had a wristband like this, there were additional stores and things you could go into that other people couldn't go into, and you'd get some other experiences, a tunnel here, a thing there, and so you'd have some exclusive access. Well, you get there, and first of all, the fairgrounds is on the other side of town. I said, hey, let's just go around the back side of town. Maybe we can find a parking spot and just walk. It's right on Main Street. So we do. We find a parking spot right downtown, 90 minutes. So we walk around, park the car again, 90 minutes later. But all the places that are exclusive for these wristbands are like Disney. It's like an hour wait. And I don't know. Yeah, and I don't know that it's worth an hour wait. When you get in there, you're probably okay for 15 minutes. You're going to like what's there. But when you wait an hour, you're expecting something more. All right? Yeah. Now, so there's been nothing but complaints on there, like, why did I buy a wristband? And I will tell you that's the truth. I went there Friday night. We got to go into a few of the shops that were going to be open for wristbands on the next days. We go there Saturday. We didn't go to any of these special events that we were paid the extra wristband. Didn't go to one. Walked up and down town for about 2 hours or so, had some burgers, looked at the costumes. If they would have said, listen, that's why people are thinking it's a rip-off, because they didn't get taken advantage of anything that they thought was exclusive. Long lines. First year there, guys, that's what I'm telling you. But if you would have charged me $15 just to drive into the town and experience it, I probably would have paid that. You know what I mean?
Well, how much was the wristband?
$15.
Okay, and then how much was it to attend Harry Potter Fest?
Nothing. Zero.
See, they should have just charged $15 and had you pay an extra $5 for the wristband.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Charge everybody $5 to get on Main Street, or whatever, and then I don't know, but it needed. This is their first year. Everybody just thought it was profit motivated, which most things are. But again, I had a great time. I enjoyed. I have my picture. We'll put it up on the page that I have. Went with the Whomping Willow, and again, my SO went as Professor Trelawney. But again, I had a great time. Got a picture with Greta Haggard, and it was a fun little thing. I will say that. We're probably going to go back today and hit the shops. See, it's gonna
if it'll be better.
Right, and hopefully, because it's crappy and a little rainy, and it's Sunday, hopefully nobody will be there, and I'll be able to go into some of these things we didn't get to go to yesterday. So, but again, I only think they'll get better. It's a small town trying to do a big thing. Let them grow. People just back off a little bit. That's what I want to say. All right.
That's funny. Well, I haven't done that much this week. Pretty much just watched TV. Did you see the Black Panther trailer?
Don't not with the volume up or anything. Just kind of like over my shoulder type of thing. Over the computer.
It looks amazing. This looks like it's going to be a really fun Marvel movie. So I'm excited. I think it's set for a February release. So, I always get a little about February releases, but I think February is like the time where they're testing things. Also, you get a few.
You don't expect a lot. Yeah, it's kind of like an under deliver, overperform chance there. It's kind of dump it in and something's going to shine in there probably.
Well, and I did go see The Foreigner. We saw that with Jackie Chan.
Oh yeah, how's that?
It was cool because it wasn't the funny Jackie Chan. It was
right.
It was if you like a good
Liam Neeson from Taken as Jackie Chan, right?
It's kind of like that. It's actually really well done for that type of movie, and I really enjoyed Pierce Brosnan as as kind of the protagonist because the antagonist. I'm sorry, because he's supposed to be this IRA bigwig, and you're not sure through a lot of the movie, is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? Is he a good guy? Is he a bad guy? So it was fun. And Jackie Chan, of course, plays the old Chinaman who everybody underestimates. So, and you see that from the trailers. I'm not giving anything away. So it's really cool. And he relies more on action and stuff this time than just his martial arts skills. So I really enjoyed it. It was entertaining. I wouldn't say it's high art, but it's definitely entertaining. So I would say go see it. What have you been watching lately? I know you.
Well, Fear the Walking Dead just ended, so thank goodness Walking Dead is coming back on today. We're going to find out what finally Negan gets his comeuppance. As we always say, the mealy guys always get your comeuppance. And in the Mummy movies, Benny was always like, Benny, you're going to get your comeuppance. You're going to get your comeuppance.
That sounds like old man talk.
That's what it is. So whenever we're watching a movie and there's a bad guy, we're always like, when's he going to get his comeuppance? When's he going to get his comeuppance? It's going to come. So hopefully within the next few episodes, we're going to get some comeuppance of Negan and Lucille. So that's good. Oh, I have also new shows out there again. Still Ghosted, still worth watching. That's the one with the guy from Hot Tub Time Machine and Community. And,
I saw that. Yeah, that looked like it was a fun one.
Fun movie, fun show. Fun little show. Please check that one out as well. And you're watching Project Runway yet, huh?
Project Runway has actually been. I enjoyed Project Runway because usually there's really
seamless. Well, you were a seamstress.
Yeah, I was a seamstress, and I did costumes and leather and all that other stuff. But and now I'm vegan, so I no longer do leather. But I want to put that in there. Yeah, I mean, it's fun watching it, and it really is fun watching the creativity. But one of the cool things about it is it's got drama, but it's not like super mama drama. But this season has been drama, and it was because of the twins. It was Claire and Sean. And spoiler alert, turn your volume down for people who don't want to hear about Project Runway because they haven't watched it. So the twins annoyed everybody, and they were annoying. They were kind of talented, but they were annoying. And that's fine. They didn't get too much drama into that. But then, like the previews were, saying something about cheating. So it comes down that both of the twins are in the bottom against each other. So rather than sending one of them home because they collaborate a lot, this was 2 weeks ago, they did a sew-off. Well, the one twin just couldn't compete against her sister, so she conceded and the sister went on. And
wow.
That's fine.
Woo!
All right.
She either threw herself on the sword or she was not a very good seamstress, so she just got out of there.
Well, she got really overwhelmed because it was a 1 hour challenge, create something in an hour. That's pretty hard to do. And I've done it. I've created things in 20 minutes because you have to. And that's part of, being a good designer and seamstress. But so her sister went on, and her sister won the following challenge, which was really cool, except apparently they had been measuring things in their room. and they're not supposed to measure things.
Oh, so there was like a little,
Yeah.
they had a little edge more or less, or got things done quicker.
So when Michael found out that the one twin, I think that was Sean or Claire. I don't remember. I really didn't care because they weren't like my cup of tea as far as their designs anyway. But she won. He walked off, and then the producers are like, why are you leaving?" And he's like, "I'm really sorry. I don't want to be causing all this drama, but she cheated." And he told the producer, and then he went and sat in the designer's lounge. Or no, he came back out, and then they were all in the designer's lounge, and then Tim Gunn addressed it and asked her, did you use a measuring tape, was it in your room, blah 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 blah. She admitted it, and they kicked her off. And it was like, I think they've kicked one other person off for cheating in the past, but after that it was like really nice, because this week it was so nice to watch, because
Oh, see, so it sucked. See, there's no drama now. That's what they don't want. They want the drama.
I don't want the drama. I actually, because the drama comes in watching the designs and watching the creative process, which was really cool.
For you, right?
But then a sad thing happened, because we're like, they did like a in memory of Michael Knight, and he was season 3, and apparently he passed away this week of he had complications of IBS. So that was really sad to see one of the designers pass away. He was young. He was like in his late 30s, early 40s or something. So that was sad.
Yep, that's true.
So that was my Project Runway. And then I don't know. Anything else you watch? We're watching Mr. Robot. What did you think of Mr. Robot?
God, it's going to take me 3 episodes to catch back up again. My brain just that show just goes in so many directions, which is why I love it. It keeps me on my toes. You know what I mean? But to really know and a full understanding of exactly how many different layers of complicated paranoia and personalities he's running, and who's really dead and not. It's just so much.
I think this is a show that would benefit from rewatching, because I watched just the episodes as they're going along, and even my husband's like, "Oh, we need to rewatch this," and it's like, I think this is one of those shows that there are so many Easter eggs. You gotta watch it in a whole row.
Yeah, you gotta watch it in a whole row. Yeah,
there are so many Easter eggs hidden along the way that point to certain things. And I've read some things about Mr. Robot going forward that it's like, I won't even tell my husband, because I almost think they were kind of spoilery. And so if they come true, if they're more than rumors, then it was kind of spoilery for somebody to say it. But it's going to be interesting, because I love how complicated and how
it is. How many different layers there is to that.
But then it has real world undertones.
It works.
It's really good.
Oh man, it's overthinking it, but it's also working. And I'm like, guys, yeah. So that's why I enjoy that. All right,
sure.
So.
Well, I was speaking of Mr. Robot and all the data and all the crazy stuff. Let's talk about internet privacy a little bit.
Okay, all right. Well, I did hear something recently. Didn't Google Assist, right? It just said that there is something on there that's picking up people when they're not expecting it to be picking up. Right now it was, and I'm like, how is it able to do that? How is there not a stopgap already made on that?
Well, remember we talked about the Facebook thing a while back. And I said, I was talking about a medical thing, and it showed up.
It started
showing up in ads, and it's like, so I totally took Facebook off my phone because it's attached to a microphone.
Right.
Well, I had a friend tell me that he recently got a smart TV, and it was funny because all of his searches started talking, because they were talking about cruises. Now, mind you, this buddy of mine, he lives in Kentucky. They're in their 60s. He and his wife, and they don't normally travel. So this was like out of the blue that they were talking about cruises. Guess what kind of ads started getting served to them? Yeah. And then he was talking about something else with one of his vehicles that he was going to fix, and he started getting ads served to him about the vehicles. So clearly, even if you turn off access to your microphone, they're going to pick that up, which really irritates me. But then even worse is that I read an article about they are tracking you through your ads, and they can actually geolocate you through the ads they are serving to you.
Oh, yeah.
On your phone. Through the ads. And I'm talking about third parties who can grab software, not just, law enforcement or NSA. I'm talking about third parties who can grab software and put in your number and basically track you through your ads. So they'll know if you're at Home Depot, and this is for like stalkers and stuff. They can come and
Yeah.
get you. And so I've
Yeah.
got the links that I provided for you. You can put those up on our Facebook page so people can read them. But then there's also the collusion with Facebook, with them serving, the Russian ads and all this other stuff. And it's like it gets worse and worse and worse about how they, you know, they meaning anybody can pretty much data mine what you've got going on. I mean, how do you feel about
Big
that?
Brother, man, no, big. This is why we're talking about that net, thing where they allowed now Google and your search engines to watch what you're putting into your search engines. That they're able to data mine your searches, and keep those. We went to those places so they wouldn't happen. Google, we had our those things, so we could do that, and now we can't. And so every time it says, "What do you want them to allow to know where you are?" I say no on my phone.
The location tracking. And the problem is if you don't allow location tracking on your phone, sometimes it breaks the app.
They don't. Right, they say no. They say no, we can't let you use it. I know they're forcing you to say, listen, you're going to have to give us this personal information. Let us mine your personal information if you want to use our app. And, and I guess that's all us. We're all saying yes. Again, we're saying yes to that.
And here's the thing, you want some, I'll just give a few basic things. You can use a VPN, which is a virtual private network.
It costs how much,
It doesn't necessarily. There are some free ones out there.
No, not really, but
you can go to an open internet. There are IPs that are open IPs, so you don't have to go through your ISP, because your ISP, that's your internet service provider, will provide you with your IP, which is your internet protocol address. So that's what you use to connect to the internet. There are actually open IPs that you can use to connect to the internet, and there's ways to do that. And then also, Firefox allows for anonymous surfing, and Firefox, because it's open and they're not, a for-profit company, they can, allow you to do that. So if you had a VPN, you had, Firefox, and then go ahead and use something like Ghostery, which stops.
See, look at all. Yes, look at all you have to go through. We don't want. We're not Americans, and that's why we can't complain about it, because I want to just say, yeah, okay.
Well, and to that point, how many people are voluntarily putting things like, internet connected, the Internet of Things, internet connected refrigerators, not just that. We're not just talking about, the Echo or the Google Now or the Apple, what do they call that? It's like, we're not just talking about those virtual assistants that you put into your home that when you say, Google Now, buy me, blah, 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 hey, I need, potato chips, Amazon Prime Now, send me potato chips. It's like, okay, that's your price of convenience right there. There's your price of convenience is your privacy. And so now I want to take it one step further. You have things like, once you say, when you buy a piece of property, if you allow somebody an easement, but you still own the property, let's say to, 500 feet out, but they're using, say, 20 feet of that 500 feet off of your border, there are laws in some locations that say if that person has used that 20 feet for a certain amount of time, they are allowed that easement, and it now becomes their property. Well, this is what's happening with our privacy. We are allowing all of this privacy to be co-opted by these large corporations and companies. And so eventually, even though the Constitution says you have a right to privacy, how do we define that privacy? Because if we're allowing
we're saying yes to everything.
If we're saying
how can we say I don't want that? Well, you said yes to everything else. Well, except for that,
Well, and I want to say that, for convenience sake, yes, I do allow them to access data, and but I don't really want them to. I want to be able to turn that off, but I can't turn that off. There's sometimes you just can't turn that off. So I'm not allowing them to do it. They're taking it from me, and that's
the reason that you can't turn it off is because we now have a group in charge that says that profit for companies is a bigger value than personal liberties. That's they think that it's personal liberties. They believe that that's personal liberties, but it is not. They say that they're down there and they want to, not have all these things on you, but no, we want to steal all your stuff, from you, but then give it profit wise. We just can't help you if It's all about profit, folks.
Oh,
We want
absolutely. And
profit.
I think this is a really important discussion because if you're using a free app, basically they're tracking you. Some free apps don't, like if you use a game or something, a lot of times they don't. But I mean, you're pretty much allowing Amazon, Google, Apple, Yahoo, all of these, they track you.
Yep.
You
Yeah.
use Google Maps, they're tracking you. If you don't
Yeah.
use Google Maps, they're probably tracking you. If you use a browser, they're tracking you. And so
So it's just just realize it, folks. This is it. It's until you want to champion somebody that says we want to stop that, but there's nobody out there right now saying I
yes,
want to stop.
there is somebody out there. The Electronic Frontier Foundation, please donate to them. They are fighting for
Electronic Frontier EFF.
EFF, the Electronic Frontier Foundation, and they are fighting legal battles on a regular basis, and they are completely, funded by people who donate money. So
yeah, well, it certainly didn't stop this last round where they said that search engines can now mine your data.
They're fighting it. They're fighting it, and some of this is going to go up to the Supreme Court. So we're going to see what happens because now the latest one has been, can Google or can I forget exactly what it is, but okay, so Google has to turn over world data, like things that are stored off site if they're based in it's like really complicated legal crap, and it's like they're making it more and more complicated all the time. And this, I'm pretty smart, but this is some stuff I don't even understand.
Right.
How
so
deep
as
it goes.
things get easier for us, they get more complicated for us.
They do because the underpinnings of it are very complicated.
Right.
And there's a lot more going on. It's
Oh,
more than just a three-legged stool.
we want it now, right? We want it now, and then damn what happens later until I don't like it. That's
Exactly.
that's what it was. All right. Well, see, speaking of that, you touched on a little bit with the Facebook thing. Now, again, Facebook to me didn't know to look for a factory in Russia that was pumping false stories to them. They just were profit motivated as well. A company wants to put you on there. Hey, okay, I understand that. Now they're aware of that. Now we're aware of it. Something has to happen, break before we know how to fix it. I certainly believe that in society. But when we have it every day that we're saying, watch out for these things, watch out for fake news, here's something I found, and I'm going to put it on our page, a meme with Chelsea Clinton. I don't always steal $3 million from charities to pay for my own wedding, but when I do, it's documented by Podesta's emails and WikiLeaks. All right. So first things first, this what came from a site called USA's Top Stories. So if you're one of these a-hole R's, that sit around and go like, oh, this is the news that everybody else is too doesn't have enough balls to print. This kind of this USA Top Stories, they tell it like it is. No, it's the only reason that they're printing stuff that nobody else will is because it's false. Don't you freaking understand that? This whole thing right now. I don't always steal $3 million from charities to pay for my own wedding. Okay, here's what happened.
Can I make a comment real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, you know how people are really homophobic? Usually those people have other issues, like they are, maybe like borderline, having those types of thoughts.
Right.
I think this is the same thing.
At one point. Right.
The Trump administration called fake news, and they called fake news because they know there's fake news out there because they're creating it.
Yeah, right. That's the side. So here's what really goes on with this Podesta email. There was a guy, again, we're going to get in all names and everything, but I'm going to just tell you as human beings, and you decide what kind of a human being would do this. A human being was stealing Bill Clinton's name to use as fundraisers for himself. Chelsea went and told him to stop. All right. So this guy got all mad, sent Podesta an email going like, oh, can you imagine these Clintons doing this, blah, blah, blah. And Chelsea using foundation resources for her wedding and blah, blah, blah. He was just doing and he gets extra back rubs and his doggy can come to work. That's all this guy was doing in this email. And one little part of it said using resources from the Clinton Foundation in there. And they took that as what? Okay, as a $3 million payoff. No. First of all, if there were volunteers from there, that would have been okay. But as you go back, Nothing happened. There was a wedding planner. He got a check written from the Clintons. Nobody from the foundation was involved in the wedding whatsoever. You had a guy that was just sitting there going, like, spouting off things that he didn't like about Chelsea and going, blah, 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 blah. And then somebody took that one little piece and made it a $3 million under the table, wedding from the foundation. But since it said USA Top Stories, this guy has got to believe it, because that nobody could put USA's Top Stories and not have it be right.
Well, and to that point, okay, so do you remember when Obama went to India and, he's going to India and he's spending all the taxpayer money to go to India? The source of that particular news item was some guy who happened to talk to a journalist and just say that. He didn't have anything to back it up, and it wasn't true, but it got printed and got repeated. And so it's this game of telephone, and there's no investigative journalism anymore. Nobody goes and investigates. Remember when Walter Cronkite was on and, and I'm Walter Cronkite, this is the news. Yeah. Well, nobody investigates anymore. Walter Cronkite would not, even put a story on air if he didn't have the sources to back it up. He wanted to see the sources himself. He wasn't just a talking head like they are nowadays.
Now it's we want to be first, and we want the most people to come and see it from us first, and we want to be the cited source. So, know.
Yeah, but the thing is nobody is really looking for the actual source. And so, to your point, news is not news like it used to be. It's basically fed to us and served to us, and it's curated. Right. And what we're seeing is not
the cycle. That's why they call it a news cycle. How long is this cycle? What's going to come out to bump this one? We're going to like this until something else comes along. And
yeah, exactly. And the thing is we no longer get real investigative journalism. I think the only place that is in the U.S. that's doing investigative journalism is Vice News right now.
Yeah, I love Vice.
And they're doing stuff, and they're not. People aren't really listening to them.
No, because they're so counterculture. They really are the hippies of the bunch, and so unfortunately it's hard to take them so serious.
I take them seriously. Have you seen their stuff? It's serious.
Yes.
It's very well researched. But it's
hard to talk about. Right? They talk about all prostitution, sex trafficking, and then there's just all about the pot. And then people just can't listen to it all. You know what I mean? It's like
they should be listening to it all, because
right. But right.
There were some very good climate change things. So yeah. So on that note, we are going to I don't have my bumpers yet, people, so this is we're going to do Is This Critical? That was our internet adventures. We're going to do Is This Critical? And we're gonna go from Vice News to Aaron Rodgers. Oh no!
Oh, my bad wing. Oh my bad. Hey, I guess there was some petition or like 5,000 people signed up, said that they donate. Ooh, was that an earthquake? They donate their clavicle to Aaron Rodgers.
It doesn't work that way. Okay, so I used to do motorcycle road racing, and that was when I was repairing all the suits for the guys who raced. I've known people who have broken their collarbones multiple times. It's usually 6 weeks. He had surgery. It could be a little longer because he's going to have to go through rehab because he's an athlete.
Oh, yeah.
So, when I heard he broke his collarbone, I'm like, well, if it's a simple break, it'll only be like 3-4 weeks. Because I know guys who've gone back to, road racing. And everybody thinks, you're riding with your arms. You actually don't ride with your arms. You ride with your lower body. Your arms are just there to control some things and to go, if you're going to high side. But yeah, so I was like, man, surgery, yeah, he's out. It sucks.
Well, again, like I said, I'm not jumping off of any bandwagon or anything, but my feelings to watching a game, for needing to sit down and watch the Packers right now when they're playing, all of a sudden, my need to watch the game has gone down quite a bit.
Yeah, but the thing is that my thing is still, we've
You're a
got
fan. You need to be watching. They need you more now than ever.
Well, no, not that I'm a fan. My thing was I was going to say is I've really disliked Dom Capers and his
Oh, I do. I love Dom.
I don't like Dom. I think he
Love
needs to
Dom.
go.
Oh, he
This year
does.
our defense is doing better, which is good. But in the past years, I mean, when we're like 26th in the league for defense, that's not good. So we'll see. We'll see if the defense can step it up. We'll see if special teams and the offensive line can step it up. We've got a lot of injuries. We'll see what happens.
And some are back. So Bakhtiari and such are back. So and Balaga. So we'll have a better line for them. So that'll be good.
Yeah. So
So
since
who did you
everybody.
lose? Who did you lose? Memorials and grieving. Who'd you
So
lose?
since we were grieving over Aaron Rodgers, I figured we'd do the memorials and grieving. Okay, so I don't know if you saw this, but there's an alderman in Milwaukee who wants to put some more rules on the memorials that are going up on the sides of the roads when there's been shootings or those horrible
Yeah,
car
the
accidents and
makeshifts,
stuff.
right? The
Yeah.
makeshifts. Yeah,
So I
I know they've
guess
brought some of these things up in the past. I know.
well, and I had one down the street from my shop when I was there was a lady who was killed and she was killed like on the corner and so there was this memorial up there and it was a little one but it got really ratty-tatty really quick and it was like almost like it was forgotten within 2 weeks and so
All right.
he I guess down where some of these shootings are occurring people they're occurring in front of people's houses and so people are drinking and getting drunk because they're grieving they're hurt and but then fights are breaking out or they're getting loud and there's other stuff occurring. So this alderman for that district wants to limit memorials and have them taken down within a certain amount of time. And then if
Yeah,
people are going
I
to
know.
be standing out front of these areas and he wants to limit the times. And I don't know, what is your feeling about that? I kind of think that's probably, it's reasonable
It's
because you
reasonable.
you
It's
don't go to the
reasonable.
funeral home for 2 months. You
No,
don't,
no, you
you
don't,
know,
and you don't, and that's not where you buried them, and that, and so yeah, I mean it's a if we are we going to start playing, putting around where places where someone died is that just as important as where they're now resting, I mean, no, we're not. The memorial, yeah, it should be a 30-day thing, and that's it. I mean, you get it. I get it. You get it. Everybody understands it. I'm not going to tell them not to do it. I don't think it's wrong to do it.
I
I
actually
think
think
people
they
need
should
to
do
do
it
it.
because I think that's
Yeah.
part of the grieving
But
process.
I do,
Yeah,
but I
there
think
needs to be
30
some
days,
limitations
yeah,
on it.
30 days, when the teddy bears start to get wet and out in the, I mean, it's just time,
I think so.
and everybody should be fine with that. Anybody who's not
I would hope
then
so.
needs to go to a psychologist for their grieving problems. Let's just put it that way. All
Well,
right?
and there are therapy, and a lot of these people, they have the churches are reaching out, especially with some of the more, high profile things that happen. So that's good. But,
All right.
yeah. So,
So yeah, the marathon can't get it right. I just saw that the other day. Oh my gosh. Yeah, the last one I ran there, I'm glad. Oh yeah, right, the one I ran. Yeah.
well, the thing is, all right, so I know a lot of athletes, and my daughter's one of them. She's run marathons, but, there are people who are trying to qualify. This one was a
And you
qualifier
can't. Yeah,
for
you
the
can't
Boston
qualify. You
Marathon.
can't. You got to throw this out, right?
Okay, and the thing is, a lot of people they do it because it's their hobby. It's not their
Right.
primary thing to do. And so, now you've just run what you thought was a marathon, and then the next day or two you find out, well, I'm not qualified for the Boston Marathon. Well, some of the entries to qualify for these marathons have closed. If they're in a reasonable distance.
Right.
So
Right.
now these people may not be able to go. And
Might
then
not get
kind of
another
like
race in or something. I mean, you train, you get the one race, whatever, and that it's not like you can say, well, next weekend I'll do another one. Then I guess,
well, and exactly, it's not. Oh yeah, I'll do another one. There's some people who are so physically fit they can do that. There's some people who just do it because it's a life goal.
bucket
It's on
list.
their bucket
It's a
list.
bucket list. Yeah.
And
yeah.
so,
And but
yeah.
so now a couple whatever the last time it was too short. No, too long, right? And
It
now
was too long, yeah.
too long. And now they
Because
had
a vandal moved a cone was the thing. A vandal.
That's this year now, I thought, because again, this year they were supposed to go down, or the map showed the layout was like done by 4 different places, so they all had the layout correct. But someone mismarked this year, didn't make it go down far enough before they turned around, which is why it became too short this year.
Yeah, and it's
by
like,
a tenth.
It's like, come on, boys and girls, because this year they're saying there were 2 different surveying companies and blah
Yeah,
blah
they got it all. The route was fine, but the route wasn't laid out correctly. You know, the route they had given them, the map. If someone doesn't follow the map, you can't blame the person who made the map. Okay, you can't. If one of the workers put, like you said, a cone, if it was his, put a cone a block too short instead of a block further, that's that guy's problem, not the map company.
But
the
thing is,
the surveyor.
And I saw they had an interview. It was initially I thought it was somebody who was involved with the marathon, but it wasn't. It was just a participant. And this is again where you get like you really have to know what they didn't make it clear that this was a participant the first time I saw it. But she was like, "Oh well, you know, there's always next year," and it's like, no, for some people there's not always next year.
No,
and you know,
right.
people who are competing at this level, you know, some of these people are very serious. And it's just like, you know what? If you can't get it right, have somebody else do it because you people don't seem to know what the hell you're doing. You know, and
growing pains.
it's not growing pains. It's incompetence.
No,
Sorry.
It's just one guy putting something in the wrong spot.
And that's what happens when you
error.
get volunteers and they're not double checked.
You have human error, right? You know, that's all there is. All right. Good. That was a good one. I like that, though. It's funny.
So, Dave, are you going to have a moment for us? Are we going to have a MoKE moment?
Yes.
What do we got?
All right. MoKE moment today. All right. New job. I've been driving the Rock Freeway every day. A half hour there and a half hour on the way home. So, of course, I am on the highway. 2-lane highway. All right. So I, of course, have got my road rage stories that I can give you on a daily.
On the Rock Freeway? Come on.
Daily. All right. So this is a 70 mile an hour stretch, right? All right.
Okay. When you're done, remind me. I've got a little Alexa moment.
All right. So here's the thing. The big thing that we're doing now is again the new law that's enacted: camp in the woods. Not in the left lane, right? Because everybody camps in the left lane. You shouldn't. And
new law. That's been forever.
Whatever. If you still don't know it, all right. So those are my pet peeve people. Of course, you know, a person who thinks when the speed limit's 70 and you're going 73 that you can stay in the left lane. That isn't your lane at 73 miles an hour, lady. Because you're going 3 miles faster than the speed limit doesn't entitle you to the fast freaking lane. All right? If you ain't going 80, get out of there.
Yeah, and 80 is the new 70, just so you know, people. Because I've been driving out to, I was driving out to Delafield all summer, and now I've gone off to my daughter's house a few times down 94. 80 is the new 70. So if you're in the left lane, you got to be going at least 78 miles an hour.
78, yeah. So if you're not 8 miles over, get out of the left lane.
Actually, my rule when I'm hitting cruise control and there's nobody around, it's the speed limit plus 10%, so it would be 77.
Yeah, so yeah, I get the 10. I always 10, and my speedometer's off by 2 miles, so I'm usually going 8 over. So that's how I kind of judge it. But okay, so we've got that, and so every day I'm ramming up on people, get your, and telling them, reaching out my window and giving them get your window, get over.
Are you becoming an aggressive driver, Dave?
Yes, just on those people.
Zen and flow.
Yeah, just like those truckers. You know how the two trucks, when one decides that the one in front of him is not going fast enough, so he's going to pass him, and it takes him 3 freaking miles to pass him because he can't go that much faster than the speed limit, or he'll get fined by his road company. So you have two semis going down the highway, one going 2 miles an hour faster than the other to pass him. So anyway, this is great. This camp in the woods, not in the left lane. So the other day, about a month ago now, I think maybe 3 weeks, a month ago, I'm on my way down, and up from behind, I start seeing a car coming up, and I'm going my 80, and it's coming up on me, and I'm like, it's going about 85 probably, and there's a car in front of me that I'm trying to get over. It's not getting over, so I'm like, all right. So this guy's coming up behind. I'll let that guy ride his ass, because that's the way it is. If there's a guy riding my ass, I will go over to the slow lane, let that a-hole get by me so he can chew on that guy's ass, and then I'll just follow behind there, all right? Let him plow the field, all right? There you go. Exactly. So anyway, I get over, and this little car keeps staying on the left lane, and the car that's coming up behind me starts driving by, and it's this white Taurus, and look at the plates. It's the tan license plates with a little star on it, so it's a It's a Johnny Law car of some
A
sort.
municipal car.
It's of
Probably
some sort.
some kind of
Yes.
legal
White
and
Knight.
law
There's my
enforcement.
White Knight right there. So he comes screaming up behind the car that won't go over to the left, and all of a sudden I see, boo, the cherries go on, and the car, moves over to the left, and then he takes the cherries off, and he keeps rolling. And I'm like, hey, this cop is out here doing nothing but pushing camp in the woods people to the right lane, and I'm like, so that was great. So now I have seen him once a week since then. Since then, I've seen him pass me once a week. I know his license plate number. I'm starting to wave to him. I think I'll have coffee. I'm going to hand him some next time he comes by, maybe through the window.
They like donuts too, so if you hand them coffee, you better have a donut.
Roll down the window. I'm throwing a donut at you. So this is my favorite cop in the world right now, is the one that's doing nothing but driving between towns on the Rock Freeway, getting a-holes in the left lane to go to the right. Thank you, Johnny Law.
There you go. Well, I have my little Alexa moment because you reminded me earlier this week. So I'm not as aggressive with you with my driving, even though I will drive quickly. And I do go 80 down to from Delafield on. But the other day I'm driving and I live by the Parkway, the Root River Parkway. So I'm driving through the Root River Parkway, and this guy rolls through a stop sign and has to get in front of me with his truck and his trailer. And I'm like, okay, fine, whatever, because I'm zen and flow. Okay, whatever. He gets in front of me, and all of a sudden I realize I don't want to be behind this guy. Right. So I back off 2-3 car lengths, because here's why I didn't want to be by him. He's got like one of those bigger zero-turn motors, almost like a professional one that a lawn, company would use. It's all duct taped up, and it's got crap on it that's rusting and everything. And I'm like, okay, something's going to fall off this thing.
Well, fly off. Yeah.
But then I realized something is going to fall off this thing, because you know how they have those grids that come back and you can roll your, piece of equipment off of the trailer?
Right.
Well, he's got those up. The one is broken, and you can clearly see it's broken. The other one is not only broken, it's broken and hanging down and swinging. And
ramp is all right.
In the state of Wisconsin, your trailer lights have to be hooked up to your brake lights and whatnot, and you're supposed to have a license plate on your trailer if you don't have.
Right, you have to see it, right.
You have to be able to see your license plate and blah, blah, blah. So if there was no license plate on this trailer, not only were the taillights not working, I'll send you the picture too.
They weren't even there?
No, there's wires hanging off of the trailer lights. Now, I couldn't see how the trailer was hooked up, but anybody who's hooked up a trailer knows that not only do you put it onto the tongue onto the ball, but you also have some chains that come up, and they
just in case, right.
I have no idea whether this guy had safety chains or not, but we ended up at a stoplight, and I pull up behind him, and then I realize, because I'm trying to glare at him through his mirror, because I'll do that sometimes, give him the skunk eye. No, his mirror on his truck pointed up to the sky. I could see the lights, the overhead lights for the street lights in his mirror.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, Mr. Safety there on the road. So you people who are driving around with unsafe anything on your car, get off the road, because I am so tired of it. We've had people killed. People have stuff go through windshields, even if they're not killed.
Those tires come rolling down the highway.
Oh, and that was the other thing. One of his tires was canted a little bit. And it's like, okay, so, I've said this earlier. I used to go racing. We used to load up our trailer. We used to check our trailer bearings. We used to make sure all of our lights were working. We had all of the things that we needed to be transporting things. So if you're on the road, I don't care if you're going 25 miles an hour down Root River Parkway, or if you're going 80 out to Delafield or down the Rock, your stuff better be working, because you're putting not only yourself in danger, but everybody else. And if you don't care about yourself, fine. I care about me, though. So then I go, and he goes and turns, and when you turn, you are supposed to turn into the closest lane. That is the law.
Oh, yeah.
No, he doesn't turn into the closest lane. He turns into the farthest lane. So I just took him on the inside. He looked at me like I was nuts.
Right,
and it's
right.
Like,
what are you doing?
I'm the nuts because I want to get around you, because you're driving crap that's swinging and hanging.
Oh, I was behind just this last week, popping in my head as we're doing this, because every day is a new story down that highway. I'm behind an Anderson Renewal Windows truck, box truck, and it's going on to it's like going on to the part where you can hear the where it's on the side of the road, the fog line, and then he's going into the middle lane, then he's going up, and I'm like, okay, this guy must have just been looking down for a minute. And then like another 30 seconds, he's doing it again. And I'm like, I called Anderson Window and I said, listen. And I got by him as fast as I could because I didn't want him swaying around by me. I said, I don't know if this guy is on his phone, on drugs, having a medical emergency, but he is all over the freaking road. You got a guy, and I'm like,
so
it's
what did they say?
Right, it's at the, well, I just was talking to the receptionist. I said, it's a receipt. I said, he's on right now. I'm on the Rock Freeway. We're right at exit 53. And then all of a sudden I could see in the background, he got off. And I go, hey, he just got off on Y53 Racine exit. Thank God we're all safe on the highway right now. So just find out who that was. Bye. And I was done. But I'm like, they have enough of those. How am I driving? I'm going to use that. How's my driving? It sucks, dude.
Well, and here's the thing. Everybody's got a phone in their car, right? So when we came to the stoplight, I took a picture of this guy. And you can see we're at the stoplight because you can actually see the reflection of the stoplights in my car. So I was stopped. But, okay, to that point, it's like there was a guy. Like, do people not know that we can document this? Like, you called Anderson, and I took a picture of this guy. I had a guy where we live. There's a corner where people will just, who live here will put stuff when they're moving. And they're not supposed to do it. There's a guy who drove up our street, dropped off a sofa, and then drove away. Well, not only was I pulling out and I watch him, so I pull over to the side of the road and act like I'm doing something on my phone. As he pulls out, I pull behind him and snap 3 pictures, drive across the street to the office, show them the picture, give them the license plate number so they can catch the guy. Everybody's got phones and video. Don't do stupid stuff, people. We're going to document it.
All I could think of is doing the thing where I'm driving and I've got my phone and I'm recording it. Here's this guy going all over the road, and in the meantime I'm going all over the road because I'm trying to film.
I don't do that. I actually do stuff at stop signs.
I know, that's what I'm like, but I'm like, I said, wouldn't that make a good little short, PSA to what not to do? I'm recording the guy who's driving bad.
But those are all over YouTube, so those are on there. But so let's do our hip happenings because I'm like getting really warm now. So
all right. Coming up. Oh, China Light still. I haven't gone to it. They got another week. I know they extended that.
Yeah, they extended it. Go. Yeah. Okay.
Hopefully with the cold this week we can go. All right, so go ahead.
There's a cool thing. October 27th. 6 to 9 p.m. at the Mitchell Park Domes. Ghost Under the Glass. It's kind of like a trick-or-treat thing. So it's $8 per person. Children 2 and under are free, but I guess they're going to have like one of the domes is going to be for ghosts, and the Desert Dome is going to be the Dia de los Muertos. So anybody who
Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead. So that's going to be cool.
Muertos.
Yes, Dia de los Muertos. And you get the sugar skulls. You can paint your face. It's all cool. And then there's going to be on November 3rd at the UWM Manfred Olson Planetarium. I've gone to the planetarium.
Oh, planetarium.
Cool. Yeah, that's at UWM. On Friday, November 3rd, 7 to 10, there's going to be Colors of the Cosmos and Stargazing. So that sounded pretty cool. And you'll have the link to all of these things on the Facebook.
Yep.
The Facebook. Don't I sound old? And then for people who don't know, speaking of the domes again, Farmers Market starts Saturday the 4th. It runs from 9 to 1 every Saturday, and I'm not quite sure. I think it goes through April. It's free to get in. It's in the Mitchell Park Greenhouse Annex. Oh. I know in the past when I've gone in, you can actually go in the domes because they have, some of the vendors in the domes. So it's a cool little thing. And then,
cool.
Yeah, and you had a thing coming up this weekend.
Yeah, I was going through, I don't know where it popped up or whatever, but they said Little Shop of Horrors is being re-released, returned with original, darker ending. So then the 1996 original, which, do you know this movie, right? The Little Shop of Horrors?
Oh, yeah. Little Shop of
Horrors.
Feed me,
Eugene, feed me. I love pain. So I'm just like, Chrissy, you want to go to this? Let's go to this. So it's only in a couple theaters on Sunday, like at 2:00, and then 2 days later at 2:00 again in the afternoon. So if you want to see it, and it's a little more expensive. It shouldn't be, but it is. But I just thought it'd be cool to go see it in the theater. No commercials and a new, darker ending. So, but I think this is the only musical. Yeah, I've already bought tickets.
Cool.
I think this is the only musical that you will ever probably catch me at. Besides, okay, all right. I'm going to sound like a hypocrite, but Pinball Wizard, I guess that's a musical.
Pinball Wizard, yeah.
And I'm sure there's something else out there. Rocky Horror Picture Show. See, this kind of puts me in the Rocky Horror Picture Show, area. That's what
Okay, all right. Well, we'll give you a pass.
Because no, I don't do, Les Miserables, less miserable. Yeah, I mean, I'm less miserable. I'm more miserable watching this freaking thing. Things like that.
Les means the, not less. And it's Les Miserables.
Les Miserables. Les Miserable.
Oh, that's
all
funny.
right.
Well, actually, you should go see Book of Mormon. If that comes out in a movie, you're just...
I would love that.
Yeah, that's
my daughter just said, this is one of those things I'm going to put it on here, like, we said it here first or watch for it here, so when it's a big movie like years from now, you heard it here first. My daughter's reading a book called Push Play or Player One. It's called
Ready Player One is... Yeah, Ready Player One.
Yeah,
can't remember his name, but actually, the guys who do The Sword and Laser, Veronica Belmont and Tom Merritt, they've been Ready Player One several years ago was one of their favorite books, and they are so thrilled to see it being made.
Being realized,
yeah, and I'm hoping they do a good job at it.
It's Spielberg, isn't it? Isn't he directing? Isn't he attached to it somehow? I think he is. I think he was mentioned in the book, my daughter says, but I think he's the guy who's attached to it. I haven't looked yet.
I don't know if he's gonna do it, but but anyway. So and then I just want to say that on the 2nd, I'm going to on the 1st, I'm sorry, the 1st of November, I'm going to Riverside to see Postmodern Jukebox. I don't know if anybody's familiar with them, but they have a lot of YouTube videos. Look them up. They are amazing. They basically do like that vintage style. And they
like squirrel nut zippers and that kind of stuff.
They do the vintage style, but it's all modern covers. So they do like Creep and stuff. But
there's a guy Cheese. Gosh, what's his name? Something Cheese, Johnny Cheese something or something. He does like I'm a Creep. He does Nirvana. He does. I forget. He says, but he does it all in Lounge Singer, like the Bill Murray guy.
Okay, this is all like remember like the Anderson sisters and stuff. So it's that poppin' almost swing 40s, 50s.
Right. So it's cool. Kind of fun when somebody does something like that,
And they've got the costumes and the full band in the back. It's really neat. So we're gonna go see that. I'll probably have a review on that.
A couple other little things too, just for things to watch. Everything as we're filling up. Again, the other day, Star Wars was being run all day long on the weekend, so I had to watch Rogue One again. The best Star Wars movie that's ever been made. That's it. Unless they make a better one out of all the Star Wars movies. The
Solo, a Star Wars movie by Ron
Howard. Solo's coming out with Glover. That's going to be great. I'm hoping for that, but I'll tell you, Rogue One is the most fantastic movie that was ever made in that universe right now. And last night we watched Guardians of the Galaxy first one, and I gotta go. I think I might have to buy it to watch number 2 Guardians because again, second Guardians was so freaking awesome, You got that tape? Anybody got any tape?
All right, Dave. We gotta
wrap it up.
We're gonna wrap it up. So.
Hey, we're so close to an hour, we might as well have made it an hour, right?
Right. So we'd like to thank our viewers and listeners, Dave's mom and my neighbor Pat. So,
hey, Pat.
Yeah, so hi Pat, hi Dave's mom. Anybody who stumbled across us randomly, we appreciate you watching.
Terry Carlson, Terry Barr, Rob Shates, anybody.
Okay, well, he's giving a shout out.
He's
giving a shout out. So if you guys tell 2 people and they tell 2 people and they tell 2 people, we're going to be internet famous and that'll be awesome. So subscribe to our YouTube channel, Hypocritical. Visit our Facebook page, Hypocritical Facebook page. I think it's a group right now. We need to turn that into a page. And then you can always shoot me a tweet, Al3xaMKE. So please, it's right here. Please, send us, your feedback, and that's pretty much it. So until next time, bye, everybody.
High fives.
High fives.